Good evening, guys. It's Friday. We've got a full house, which means there's a new show going on, called the Mix Zone. Basically, it's just a group of us, educated, Man United fans, having a little chit chat about the stuff that's gone on during the day. First things first, I have no problem with swearing. No c words. It's the only word that we probably don't allow, but everything else is you're more than welcome to have a swear at. Let me just say a couple of howdies before we go any further. So bath time, obviously you guys in the chat know, the superstar of the channel. Bath time, how you doing Friday, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I've started all the comments for you. I can do any reading you want tonight. I'm hoping to take a backseat and let our guest speak, unless Bart shows up, who is going to get the bollocking of his life.
Don't worry, man. He'll be here, man.
Oh,
Cole,
he's here.
it's been a long time, man. I know this week, the chat that we were in, you were quite vocal on a few things. So I said, rather than have you talking in the chat, you may as well put it out there to the wider world. So, Cole, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm not bad, thank you. Yeah, it's been a bit of a long time. Hope everyone's well.
We should be. Kuhunde, your brother hasn't slapped the shit out of you for your lackluster performances. So look, you're here, man. I'm glad you're here, man. How you doing, big man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. It's been a long week, and yeah, I'm just glad it's Friday, man.
I hear ya. I hear ya. Stuart.
Yo.
It's been a really long time. How you
It's been
doing,
a while,
man?
bruv, hasn't it? It's been
How
a
you
while.
doing?
I'm all good, all good. 3 wins
Good.
on the trot. I'm smiling again.
No, look, man. I'm not gonna say we're back, but hopefully there's a little bit of confidence going in through the squad at least. Right. So guys, let me just go for a couple of these messages. Oh shit, it's me. Go guys in the chat. You're more than welcome to jump in if you really want to. If you don't, just sit back and listen, man, and make sure you get some comments in. Stephanie, how are you, my dear? I hope you're enjoying your Friday. Thank you, Eddie, with your customary in and out. Eddie. Andrew. Good trio at the start. Oh, there's 5 of us. Or maybe he wasn't talking about that. Matty, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Simon. Have missed the past 2 streams because of illness. Bruv, I'll just take some vitamins, man. Hopefully you get yourself better, man. I know it's been a troubling year for you, man. I hope your health picks up. Oh shit. Bart's in the house. Bart, we've got the conversation police in here today, so you better bloody behave.
But if you ever pull that stuff again, after I put up a video about the Ghanaian Manchester United Supporters Club building a well in Ghana, and you use it as a mechanism to talk your bollocks about Liverpool under my name, I won't just hunt you down and skin you. I will set up a trust fund for an intergenerational war against you and your descendants for thousands of years, like fucking June.
And if that doesn't happen, we've got a fund for one of those
My robot.
Yeah, those robots that will put your postcode in, and we'll get that sent to you, man. Yo, Andrew's giving everybody the big ups. We're on 9, and there's 12 of us watching. Hopefully that'll increase, and we deserve better. I hope you're doing well out there, man. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're gonna enjoy your Friday and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Look, we've got a few things that have gone on this week. Obviously the Rashford situation is still there. He hasn't gone. I actually don't believe he's going to go. But obviously he's turned down everybody apart from his dream move to the poorest club in Spain, Barcelona. Obviously they needed to shift out players. He's now been informed that, they can't get him in. Surprise, surprise, like we didn't know. What's left for him? Villa have come in with a late option for a loan. It sounds like Unai Emery is really interested, really positive about what Rashford can maybe do to the team. Stuart, as you're a stadium goer, first things first, your thoughts on Rashford and his behaviour, and then Secondly, what do you think about the move? Is he going to stay? Is Villa a good option? And then Colm, bath time, Zico, you're all more than welcome to jump down Stuart's throat if he said something that you don't want and cut him off talking. So,
You say we're not allowed to say the C word on here, Mr. B, are we?
You can say Colm.
he's got to go. I think Villa's his only option now, isn't it? I would have gone. I don't know. Did anyone see the what's it called with on Sky Sports with Keno and Rooney and that? What's it called? Bath time.
The overlap. I'm glad you think I know that, and I do.
Apparently, Rooney spoke to him last week at Carrington when Kai Rooney was playing over there, and Rooney gave it to him. Told him that you've got to leave the club. You're not wanted. Enough's enough. But I think Villa's his only. He's got to go. He's not gonna. He can't stay. Surely, can he?
Well, I mean, the words. It seems that Amorim is kind of backtracking in regards. It's my opinion, anyway. He's kind of covering his backside, saying about the training. That seems to be, the training hard. So, guess what? If Rashford's back in the team, does that mean all of a sudden he's training well, or that the transfer window's finally closed?
I mean, apparently training's never been. What Rooney was saying was the last 2 years that his training has been absolutely horrendous. Obviously, we don't know that because we just see what goes on Sky Sports, etc. But it's been a similar situation with Garnacho. Apparently, since Amorim came in, the Garnacho's head was turned, and apparently he wasn't trying as he should be in training. Now he's changed. Amorim wants Garnacho to stay. Garnacho wants to stay. Sorry, I know we're going off the Rashford subject, but it's a very similar situation. But Garnacho's pulled his socks up and got on with it. So, the most frustrating thing about this is that Rashford is a die-hard Man United fan. And this is what I just can't get my head around. I've heard he's got issues at home. He has to get out of Manchester. But I don't know. I know as much as you guys, to be honest.
Kahunde, come on. Give us your Rashford take.
Yeah, it seems like Amorim's kind of leaving the door open for Rashford. It feels like to me that he's trying to get a reaction out of him with some of the statements that he's come up with. Because he was saying about his application to training and all this, and he said something implied that, like, how can I put him in the squad if he's training like this? So for me, it feels like, because he did say something earlier, I don't remember exactly what it was about Rashford's potential and everything else like that. But then he criticised him about his application. So it's trying to say, basically trying to get a reaction out of him to make, see if his attitude changes. So I feel like he's leaving the door open. And, nothing's going to happen till the summer now because obviously the window's closed. So we'll just have to wait and see. But it's not looking good.
Just quickly, what Amorim said the other day about the goalkeeper coach, he'd rather have him on the bench. I mean,
yeah, that was it. That was the comment.
Yeah. So the thing with Amorim, he's not going to take any shit off anyone, is he?
Good.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing for him because he wants to have that impression that he's one of these managers. He's not going to take shit, and that's making him look good in a way. But I don't know. I think it's time for Rashford to go because I just feel like he's had his time at the club. He's not going to get any better. I don't feel like he's improving. He's never been that consistent. I don't know what he's like in training, but it doesn't sound like he's trains well either. So I think he should go. Yeah.
Okay. Colm, I don't want to cut you off. 1 second. Big G, we see you, man. Piggy, welcome to the chat. I hope you're well. I don't know where you found us, but thank you very much. Please hit that like and subscribe and get in the comments. Give him some hell. Joel, that's the same to you as well, man. Welcome to the channel, man. I'm not sure I've seen your name before, but big up, man.
Joel.
Yes, is that what? Did I get the name
Joel.
wrong?
I'd have thought it would be Joel.
Joel. All right, look. I've never had anybody comment on the way I've said Joel. Maybe his name is Joel. Joel, could you just let us know? I'm right or wrong with the pronunciation of your name.
Nah,
Iggy, I
I've
know.
got a kid in my school named Joel, and it's spelled exactly like that. So you could be right. I don't know.
See,
But it's the
we're
same.
gonna.
It's the same as Noel, isn't it? Noel could be.
Yeah, but if I saw Noel, I wouldn't have said Noel though. I would have said Noel.
Do you
No,
run around calling people
I've never heard
alarm?
anyone called Noel. So I've heard people who are called Joel. So
What was that bath time?
So do you run around calling people Alan alarm?
No, but it's not Alan. Alan would be RN. Get lost, bath
Alanis
time.
Morissette? Alanis.
Alanis, that's a woman. This is
Yeah.
okay. Now I'm wondering if that means that I've got his name wrong.
It's Joel.
I think it's Joe. Like
It's
Joe
Joel.
Cole.
Joel. Okay, well
Joel.
I apologize. It's Joel. I'll make sure I call you Joel. From now on, Joel. Come on, spit it. What you got for Rashford, and what are your thoughts on him? Even if he has to stay, how bad do you think it's gonna get?
I hope Ruben Amorim barricades the training doors, tells Marcus Rashford to get back in his car and fuck off back home and stay there.
Well said.
He's an absolute waste. He thinks he's bigger than what he is. He thinks he's better than what he is because the people around him have told him that. And Amorim has let some truth out and said, listen, you are not as good as what you think you are. Yes, we might be a bit of a better team with you because you're a threat, but you're not as good as you think you are. And I stand by Amorim 100%. You know, I don't think Amorim's done anything wrong. If he needs to get a reaction out of Rashford, then do it. We've seen people try calling him out before. It doesn't work. Does not work. And, you know, he's trying to get this Barcelona move, which isn't going to happen. Lad, Barcelona are a mess and you still aren't good enough to go play for them. That's why the deal's not happening. Not that just can't afford you. You're not even going to get in that team. You're a joke as it is at the minute. So just go play Tiddlywinks or something and leave it summer because I'm absolutely fed up with you.
Yeah, I will.
Just that it sounds like everybody's fed up. So nobody sees a way back for Marcus MBE.
Of course there's a way back for Rashford.
There's always a way back. There's always a way back.
But
Yeah, but
It's about finances and so on. Like, I mean, I'm not Rashford's biggest fan, but I disagree with Colm a little bit on quite a lot there. Like, for one, I think if you have a saleable asset, you shouldn't be trashing them in public, barricading them from from the training ground, whether that's metaphorical or literal. I believe that, like,
no.
we've been through this before. That, like, Amorim is from Portuguese football, and the culture of Portuguese football is written by Victor Frade, and his tactical periodization. Training is incredibly important, and I have slight issues, to be honest, with Wayne Rooney like having a go at him. I don't think that that's constructive for the club.
Hypocrite warning.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Rooney, man, like, I've seen him pissed up in a travel tavern with like, stuff going on. I don't think that is particularly, like, conducive to good stuff. And I think that all of us would agree that we'd love to see Rashford fulfilling his potential and doing well for United. But it's come to an end. And I also think, I don't know if you were at that game, Stuart, but I remember earlier in the season, Rashford was doing what he was being told by Ten Hag, and fans were booing him because he wasn't running at players. And I feel the relationship is broken between the club and the team, and that is what I want addressed. Because now, if we had David Beckham in the team in 1999-98, after what we saw him go through, I think that there would be very loud voices saying that Beckham is a cart horse, and all these things, and I think we've really lost the culture of supporting our players.
100%, yeah.
We've just got one. We deserve better. Is actually calling Rooney a hypocrite. Is that down to the fact that he said he wanted to leave the club, and then we had to pay him a whole wedge? I think the difference is Rooney didn't stop playing. I don't think he stopped performing for the club. He didn't. He didn't act like a pussy. Basically.
The main thing as well, Mr. B, sorry. The main thing as well, Rooney kept taking us to titles. Rashford hasn't.
Yeah, but this was under Ferguson. I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
I can't say that.
Yeah, we're also not having a conversation about who is the better player. We're talking about if Rooney's comments were conductive.
Yeah.
Like if you go to your place of work and someone who worked there like 15 years ago turns up and starts having a go at you, like is that good? Like, why is Rooney being allowed to run around doing this? He's not. I love Rooney. He's a legend, but he's not part of the collective at Manchester United anymore. And he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be doing that kind of. Well, maybe he can do that kind of stuff, but he should not be talking about it in public.
So apparently, he's just said to Rashford that it's time for you to go. He didn't try to Did he try to criticize Rashford?
No, not at all. No.
No, but by doing it in public, I'm okay with him saying that, like, but in closed doors. But going on a podcast and open, like, Amorim has greenlit the team for abuse by saying they're the worst Manchester United team in history. Like, he's greenlit Rashford to be attacked, and now Rooney has greenlit it as well. Like, it's saying it's okay, pile in. And this isn't the Manchester United ethos that I recognise. Stuart, I don't know if you recognise this, where a player has had a target put on them to such a degree as Rashford has.
Oh, especially when was his last game? I think it was 12th December?
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. I think it was Forest when we lost 3-2. The amount of abuse I was in the Stretford End that day. The amount of abuse that Rashford was getting was you would have thought it was a Liverpool player. He was getting ripped to shreds, worse than anything I've seen for Harry Maguire. You look how changing the subject. Look how Maguire's turned it around. So it can be done, can't it, guys? It can be done. But Rashford's attitude, we all know, it just stinks. Guys on 1.2 million a month. He's on that pitch. He's got a frown like down to the ground. He's a die-hard Man United fan. What the hell's going on?
There you go.
Yeah,
in a nutshell.
no one knows.
No, I agree. Rashford can't blame anyone but himself.
Exactly.
My issue with the Rashford situation is I want Rashford gone. Rashford's probably the only academy player I've never really kind of got behind.
Really?
Yeah, like a lot of it comes down to the final against Villarreal. Like that is the worst performance.
I know you said you're never going to forgive him for that. I know you.
Honestly, like Stuart and Kahinde are a little bit older than me. Has there ever been a worse performance in a final by a Manchester United player?
It must have been bath time.
To be honest,
1976 against Southampton. I'm showing my age.
See,
that game, all I remember was I felt we missed Maguire because the first goal was so
yeah.
Needed Lindelof not clearing properly.
Yeah.
But it was nothing really in that game. I don't think the front three did enough, to be honest. It was Rashford, Martial, and Greenwood, and they didn't really cause too much of a threat. Cavani had to come on and
play well, Cavani.
Yeah.
Rashford
didn't stand out to me as like being really.
I was getting really frustrated with him watching the game. And then the thing that drove me mad is the next day he launched a book and did a press conference like with Barack Obama, and it was called How to Be a Champion, and obviously he thought the game was in the bag.
Yeah.
And it really annoyed me. But my issue actually goes further than Rashford, because when Rashford missed all those pens, it was Rashford, Saka, and Sancho in the World Cup, in the Euros. Yeah. They he got a bit of like abuse, and they put some stuff up. Like the fans came behind Rashford, and that is like what Manchester United is to me. It's the relationship between the players and the fans. And what really concerns me with the Rashford situation is that I think that not only has there been a breakdown in the relationship between him and the fans, but it's the team and the fans, and it's part of a larger problem. I'm not defending Marcus Rashford because I think he's been dreadful for quite a long time. He hasn't shown pride in his work. He hasn't shown commitment, and I think it's all good. But the larger issue is I do not like our manager and our ex-legends basically allowing the public to kind of go in on a player. I know everyone hates Gary Neville because he hates the team, but Gary Neville is the guy that is keeping the standards from Ferguson going. He's the only one that I see. And I don't like the abuse on Marcus Rashford. I think it's against what Manchester United is to me.
The thing is, sorry, quickly, Bar time. The thing is as well, it's not just the likes of Rooney and Amorim. I mean, Paul Scholes come out and said it several times on TNT Sports, isn't he? About Rashford needs to leave, he's got to go, blah. So it's not just Roy Keane, but I mean, Roy Keane says it all the time about everyone.
Rio Ferdinand's come out and said stuff as well.
Rio said it as well, yeah.
It's not good, is it? These are not. You think about the siege mentality that those players had, like the way they rallied around and things. I mean, we didn't see that Phil Bardsley knocking out Rooney clip for years, did we? Like, and I just think that like there's been an erosion of our values on the pitch, which is the most important thing. But also with the manager and with the ex-players doing this, I think that they've become a bit brain rotted by social media and having to say things. And I don't recognise the values of Manchester United in these players anymore. Like Rio Ferdinand standing outside the train stop announcing that Qatar are like coming, and then he's telling Rashford he's not putting the effort in. I remember watching Kenny Miller score past Ferdinand, and then he was out for a year with a drugs ban. Like, do people ever talk about that?
No.
Yeah.
It wasn't a drugs ban. It wasn't a drugs ban.
Well, it was for missing 2 drugs tests.
Yeah, so it wasn't necessarily a drugs ban. He probably would have probably got a longer ban for taking drugs. To be fair,
that's true. But I just. Do you know what I mean, Mr. B? Is that like the crux of the argument is that we all have a different relationship with Manchester United, and for me, it goes back to 1958, where the city of Manchester, with all the stuff like the Peterlee massacre, like 100 years ago, all got together and banded around a club that was on its knees and brought it back up again, and that relationship between the fans and the players is sacred. And now I see it being eroded by legends and servants of the club and the manager, and I'm really unhappy with it.
I'm not sure how it changes by half time.
And this is what they're paid for, these pundits. You know, you might think they're being hypocrites or they've done stuff in the past that wasn't so great with their conduct, especially at Rio and all that, but they're paid to just give their opinion, you know, and then that's why they get views and all that.
Do you think they've avoided giving their opinion up until this time, and now they know that maybe he is going, or it's got to the stage where it's what's the word? It's unattainable. Is that the word at the club? I'm not sure that's the right word I've used.
Well, they definitely when Ollie was there, they held back because he was their teammate, and I respected them for that. And when Kahinde talks about Roy Keane, I think Roy Keane is being honest and is saying that what he would say, like when he talks about trying to punch De Gea and Maguire and like his hatred of Fred and stuff. I think that's all about him thinking that they're almost disrespecting like what he built and so on. But that is a little bit more understandable because it's quite consistent. And Stuart was talking about Scholesy on TNT, and like we know what Scholesy is like. Like that's kind of him. But the Rooney stuff I felt was, I don't know. I just didn't like it. I'm sorry. We should probably move on from this point.
At bath time.
Yeah.
Just quickly about Amorim, what he said about in the press conference after the Brighton defeat about being the worst United team in history, even though apparently he was misquoted. But the problem is, too many managers in the past are too scared to have their say. And I'm not saying we're back again because we're certainly not. But but since that bollocking after the Brighton game, and that was one of the lowest points I've seen for years. We were shocking.
Yeah.
Since then, the players. I mean, let's face it, Bucharest last night, or FC, whatever they're called. I mean, they were terrible. They were absolutely abysmal. So, yeah, we won 3 games on the trot, but why should a manager hold back? And Amorim's certainly not going to hold back of what he's going to say, is he?
Well, I think the reason, right, Stuart, for me, the reason I don't like it is that Amrin, a bit like Ralph Ragnick, is acting like he's on the Man United agenda, that he's a fan cammer, and he's like giving kind of fan service by saying these things. In the changing room, he smashed up a TV, he told them all this stuff, and for me, and this is just my kind of opinion and things, is that a dressing room is is holy. Like, what happens there is like in a confession box. It can't leave the dressing room. So when he goes out and says that this is the worst team in Manchester United's history, the players know this already, but he's opening them up to more abuse. And I feel that it's not a us versus them mentality when he does that. And so that's why I don't like it.
I don't know, Bath Time. Things are changing, you know. Like, you get all these documentaries now with Man City and all that, and you get in to see what's happening in the dressing room, all these talks and things like that. The game's changing. It's a modern day thing. Like, you know, this is what fans want to see. It sells. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I'm saying I don't like
that
it.
Man City documentary and
well, no, I did, because I remember
not like
looking at
getting
it.
an insight into the dressing room.
Well, I don't think you got a proper insight into stuff.
Yeah, you got. Come on, you got.
I think you did.
The only thing I learned from that is that Fabian Delph is a proper teammate. That is what I took from that.
I like the Eric Dyer and Dele Alli moment. I thought it was great.
Yeah, no, that was. I can't believe they showed that. To be honest,
yeah, but I think
Son is the only player that cries more than Rasmus Højlund.
Oh, let's not mention Rasmus Højlund, please.
Let's not get into Rasmus.
Just out of interest, I'll ask one question. Right, who can now do Rasmus Højlund's new goal celebration this season?
Well, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it, have we?
What is his new goal celebration?
I'll show you this one.
Hang on. What's Colm up to?
I know, I'm waiting for this.
There you go.
Oh.
It's there.
You can't see it, exactly. You got a feel for the lad, though, haven't you?
It's the gladiator celebration.
Oh, of course it was.
Yeah, of course it is. We haven't seen it. Yeah.
We've seen it once, maybe.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, wasn't it? Because he nearly got. They were talking about getting him banned and a heavy fine because all they saw him do was that to the camera. They thought it was to a supporter, but no one knew it was.
He'd still bloody miss.
But yeah, come on. Who actually feels sorry for Rasmus? I do. I feel sorry for him.
I do. I feel sorry for any striker that comes to the club and stinks. But I'm not sure. I think it's lack of ability. I don't think it's confidence. I don't think it's the formation of the system we're playing. I just think he's a shit forward. And I'm not sure what we can do, especially at the price that we paid for him. I'm hearing that he's probably on you know, they're going to watch him till the end of the season, and if he doesn't work out, then they're going to cut their losses early. Cut the losses early. We've seen him for a year and a half.
What are you saying, then, Mr. B? Start Xerxes every game now.
I would start Xerxes over Rasmus any time of the day, mate. Rasmus is touchy shit. You know what I mean? You can't rely on him, the ball to hit him and stick. At least with Xerxes, all right, you know he's probably not going to run in, and maybe you can adapt your game to what Xerxes does. But if you've got a player who when the ball goes to him, it doesn't stick, you're in trouble. And that's an important part of the team. The last game he played, the 2 times that the ball actually hit him, and he was able to hold it and play off, we went forward. The rest of the time, the ball just bounced back. So, you know, I don't think he's the one. I honestly don't think he's the one. I think
who we saying in the summer? I mean, I'd personally go for that Gyökeres from Sporting.
Oh, Gyökeres.
Gyökeres, yeah.
I'm not sure he's going to come. It's all well and good. No, it's all well and good. The club saying, you know, I'm not going to be wrong. I would take him, but what are we offering him? A season of playing under Amorim in the Premier League. He's a proper player. It's not like he's some random. So guess what? He's going to be looking at Champions League football, Europa at a push. Yeah. Why?
Do you remember who Bas Dost was?
Who?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah. Bas Dost. He was at Sporting and he got better figures than Gyökeres. for longer. Gyökeres was at Brighton and was like loaned out to Coventry. I'd be careful about players like Gyökeres and things like. We've seen a lot of better strikers come over to the Premier League and not do it. Like, when you talk about Højlund, the player I always think about is Diego Forlan, and it never worked out for Forlan at Manchester United.
Still a legend.
Yeah, 2 goals. Yeah,
at Anfield.
Yeah, but you could see that Diego Forlan had something. Yeah. Like, it never came together. And Stuart, you might remember, he tried to take a penalty for his first goal, and Keane took the ball off him and said, "No, you earn your goal." Yeah. And I just think that with a player like Rasmus Højlund, you have to look at Adamela Lookman, Gyökeres, Dominic Solanke, and see that they got everything together much later in life. Even Ollie Watkins, they weren't proper players till 27 or 28. And it's whether we have the time to wait for Højlund to develop. I would, to be honest, I'd much prefer to move Bruno back to the false 9 than carry on playing either him or Xerxes. And I'd be interested, Stuart, you went to Southampton away and told us that, like, on his first start, I think, the away support were not backing Xerxes from that game on.
Oh, I've said since day one, haven't I? And but it's so tough. It's hard because when you do go, especially the away games, you get the die-hard supporters there. And what was the game Xerxes come off? Was that the Newcastle game after half an hour?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the worst I've ever seen it. Virtually the whole of Old Trafford booed him off, and the poor lad was trying to cry when he got down the tunnel. But obviously,
were they booing him or the team, or was it directed at him?
It was Xerxes. I mean, everyone at Stretford then was slagging him off, off, and do this and do that. But to be honest with him, since he come back coming against Arsenal, got the winning penalty. He's got his head down. All right, I'm not saying he's a star performer because he's certainly not, but at least he's trying. But the thing is, you can't just try it, Man United. You need to give your all.
Yeah. And do you think Amrin is given the conditions for that, Stuart, when he drags a player off before half time and doesn't put himself in the spotlight the way Graham Potter did when he had to change against Ten Hag?
The Newcastle game was Amrin's fault. I mean, to start, was it Ericsson and Casemiro centre mid? That was just ridiculous. I mean, I'm not being funny. You see it last night. Ericsson in the second half, when Cobby went into play number 10, didn't he?
Yeah.
Ericsson sat behind Cobby last night. Totally different formation. And this is the other thing that bugs me with this formation. Amrin's going to stick to 3 at the back. Clearly, it hasn't been working. It has been working the last few games, but we've been playing poor opposition. But I think the only good thing about the 3 at the back is I think Harry Maguire's thriving when he starts there.
He's a good player,
because
isn't he?
you got to think about that 2018 World Cup. He was that player of the tournament, Harry Maguire. He really does well in the back 3. He thrives on that.
Yeah, but do you think there's any defender that doesn't do better in a back 3?
Eric Dyer.
Eric Dyer has the most passes completed of any Tottenham Hotspur player in history. Like, Eric Dyer isn't as bad as people make out.
I've always liked him.
Yeah, it's like, I like Tyrone Mings.
Yeah. I've always rated him. I've always thought he was a really good player. I didn't think England appreciated him enough.
He's a brilliant passer of the football.
In midfield, I thought 2018 he should have been playing ahead of Henderson because he was much better on the ball. He's more of a cultured type of player.
I know a lot of Spurs fans, and they couldn't wait. They were chuffed when Dyer went. But saying that, he starts a lot for Bayern Munich, so he can't be that bad, can he?
Yeah, it's like I know a Chelsea fan who thought Conor Gallagher was one of the worst players they've ever had, and I would bite your hand off to get Conor Gallagher at Manchester United.
Do you agree with that, Stuart?
What, Conor Gallagher?
Yeah.
Oh no, I've never rated Conor Gallagher, to be honest.
I really like him.
I'd rather McTominay back than Conor McGallagher.
Oh, now you're talking my language, Stuart.
Stuart, sorry, we've got to cut you off now, mate.
Yeah, but the thing is, since McTominay's left, I mean, the Italians, Napoli, they absolutely adore him already. I know it's a totally different ball. I know it's a totally different ball game over there. Of course it is.
Yeah, it's a slower game.
Yeah, of course it is. Maybe that suits him.
Yeah, physical and it's slow.
Wow, I'm not having Scott as a well beater. Tell, obviously we've been linked to Matthias Tell. The transfer window has.
It's Colm Sean Bean.
Yeah, who's Sean Bean?
It's got to be Colm. He's like us who dies in the first half.
It's going to be you, Colm. I think you're Sean Bean.
Oh, he's from the north, innit? So.
Well, I'm definitely not Zizou. So, yeah, it's definitely not me then. Yeah, I'm not Andy. He hasn't spoken about
You're Zizou, because you're the only white bald man.
Zizou.
That's you.
Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah, you're Zizou. Yeah.
There's no argument about who Suge Knight is.
I've even been getting abused at the start of the season. People slagging me off saying I was Ten Hag. What are you doing back here, you bald bastard?
The things that we have to tolerate.
Yo! Idris, Mr. B.
Idris Elba, yeah.
I'll take that. Now the missus has left. He gets pum pum. I'll take that. I'll be just.
It's not allowed in the kitchen for the knives, though.
Sorry, Tell. We've been linked to Matthias Tell. Obviously,
he's coming.
You're convinced he's coming.
He's coming. Well, you know, Daniel Levy actually flew out there late last night. To try and get
I know, and they told him no. Isn't it fantastic?
My stepson's a Tottenham season ticket holder, so I'll get all the lowdown. And he flew out late last night to get the deal done. And Tell says straight away, no thanks. He wants to come to United, but I think it's just going to be a loan deal, isn't it, for the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I would take a loan. I'm all for taking a loan because.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Quick question. I don't know too much about him. I know he's an attacker, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he plays in a 9 and a 10 in it.
The thing I'm worried about, if we do go for a loan deal, I think Garnacho could be gone. I hope not, but
do you?
I think so. I think
he replaced. I think it's a Rashford cover.
You think so?
Yeah, because he's one of those players, Tal. He's sort of like a winger / forward.
Yeah, he's not an out-and-out striker, is he?
Yeah. I feel more. He's like a Rashford.
He is a young Marcus Rashford in the way that he plays.
I think he's better than Rashford is as playing as a striker. He can hold up the ball a lot more. I think he's got better technique and everything else like that.
So he'd be coming in to play as the main striker, yeah?
Well, if it's not Højlund and Xerxes, a bit inconsistent. Sometimes he doesn't give you enough to work running behind. Probably, that wouldn't surprise me.
Does anyone?
Sorry, Stuart. I think that Amrin's comments were quite interesting against Fulham, where he said we needed a bit more pace and power, and I think that what they will sort of ideally, I think that they might look at Tell as a kind of substitute, like someone to come on to stretch the game at the end. I think that with the emergence of Kobe in the number 10, I know it's against a bunch of plumbers from Romania. Well, they were. I mean, look, they're back in their supermarket tomorrow. I hope they've enjoyed themselves.
They were terrible.
And Ahmad, I still think Ahmad needs to improve, but he's been a real bright spark this season and a player we can all get behind. But Tell, I'm not sure if he has, as Kahinde said, he's better than Rashford in the number 9 because he's a bit taller, bit stronger, can probably hold a man off. But you are taking a hell of a chance of putting a teenager into the Premier League and expecting them to lead the line against the Godzillas that live as centre-backs in our league. And I think Tell is going to be a hell of a player. I'm really impressed with him. But I'd like Evan Ferguson over him, to be honest. I'm a big fan of Ferguson.
I really like Evan.
Yes, Kahinde! Yes, Zico!
Why?
Let's go!
Colm, please tell me you don't want Evan Ferguson.
I'd rather Duncan Ferguson.
Well, I am Irish, so
you sound it.
I actually am Irish, but no, I don't want Ferguson. to be fair. I don't think he's prolific enough for a Man United side.
Yeah, don't need to be.
Well,
I think what we're looking for,
we don't get enough service to our strikers now. So
Mm-hmm.
if we had a prolific striker and he doesn't have service, he might score. If we've got somebody that's going to be getting the same service and has the same capability of scoring goals as Højlund, what does that solve? It solves nothing.
No.
So we're just wasting time and money.
I feel like for Evan Ferguson, if he was given a platform, he could be prolific. Like Alan Shearer at Southampton wasn't prolific, but when he was given a platform and then someone played for him, he was.
No, because he's been in one of the best oiled team systems at Brighton.
No,
and
but his role is kind of a bit different. I feel like he's not supposed to be the guy that's supposed to be like get all the goals. If you watch his whole game, his all-round game, Evan Ferguson, he could hold up the ball well.
He's
He just,
strong.
as a striker, does everything right. I really like him as a player.
I have to agree with Kahinde here. Like Coleman's talking about service and stuff. Like on a slightly technical thing, when I look at Rasmus Højlund, Stuart, do you remember we played against Porto? It was either this season or last season. I can't even remember. And they had a bloke called Samu. I think he might have got a hat trick against us.
Really? What this season was the 3-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he scored a hat trick in that game.
Right.
And his movement, where, like, for example, when he was running, he slowed down, like, before the ball was done, and then moved across his man. Like, he is much, much better at movement in the box. Rasmus Højlund, I think that he runs in straight lines, and he's quite easy to defend against. The service argument never really kind of holds water with me, because when you look, I'm not comparing them as players, don't worry, Mr. B, but when you look at McTominay and Ronaldo running into the box, it's like there's venom. They're making a run into space, and you're like, oh, give it to them, and stuff like that. I never see that from Højlund, and when I look at players like Evan Ferguson, Ollie Watkins and stuff like that, there's more precision and more thought behind their movements. With Rasmus, even yesterday, he did a good run to create a bit of space for Kobe, but as the ball comes in, he's on his arse. He's not ready. He's not alive to go and get a tap in or something. And I just believe that the service argument is a poor argument, because he isn't cultivating spaces. He's not demanding the ball. When he gets the ball, he loses it. So for me, I'm not having that. But I'm open to listening.
But when he's been given service, he has scored in the Europa League.
Yeah.
So then again, that argument of not getting service still stands, because, like I said, he can score goals when it's given to him. Yes, I get what you're saying, Bath Time.
I'm afraid the argument doesn't stand, Cole.
I'm not defending him. Well, it does, because
it
the
doesn't.
Stats prove so. The stats
no,
prove
it doesn't.
So.
I'll tell you why it doesn't stand.
And then you tell him why, and then you tell him why it does it. Then you tell him after why it does.
Because
stand,
when, for example, when players like Ian Wright and Vardy and Smalling come from the non-leagues, they're not going off their stats. They're going off the fundamentals, because the quality of defending in the Europa League is nowhere near as high, and you can get away with it. This is why we ended up with a player like Anthony, where we didn't look at the fundamentals in his game. We looked at the output, and output it doesn't always correlate across to other things. So for me, like, I will always look at the fundamentals of what a player is doing, as opposed to, like, if you're going off stats, because stats mean nothing unless you can apply experience to understand their findings. So for me, the argument doesn't hold weight, but I'm willing to listen to another interpretation.
He's got no
Did Rasmus
experience.
score like 2 in the Champions League last season in one game?
He scored a few times in the Champions League last season, Bayern and stuff.
No, I feel there is a player in Rasmus, but I don't think we're not setting up for him to do well in the way that we play. But I actually do think he's got a lot of potential.
He got 8 European goals.
I don't think, to be honest, whoever you put up as a number 9 for United at the moment, they're going to struggle. The way this formation is
Exactly.
You could have Prime Ronaldo up there. He'd be struggling at the moment.
We did.
Well, there you go
did.
then. That's what I'm saying. So what's the answer? It's all well and good slagging off the strikers, Hoyland, Xerxes. I mean, who else? Should we have kept Martial? No, that was stupid.
Lukaku.
He'd hold the ball up better than both of them.
Lukaku. I think any number 9 at United would struggle at the moment in this setup.
In this setup,
Why?
so is this a system setup you're talking about?
In this system setup, look at the first half last night. Rasmus was on his own up front, and I was saying on the watch along to you, Mr. B, last night. This game is crying out for pace. Get Ahmad on, get Garnacho on, and it will change. And it did change. Yeah, we didn't have to win the game. Well, we did have to win to guarantee qualifying, but you need that outlet. You need someone out on the wings with pace. I know the game's changed a lot. I was having an argument the other night. If only we had Giggsy and Beckham. I was like, flipping hell, how old are you? You know, this is not the way. But this is what I'm saying. This is the Man United. Man United. I grew up with Man United. It was always about attacking, attack.
Wingers.
Exactly, wingers with pace. I know the game's changed and it's all formation. It's all this and that now, but this is what Man United is. It's about pace, counter-attacks.
It's the ethos of our club.
Exactly.
It's our DNA. I
That's
agree.
what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Pace and skill, wide areas.
Okay, so what you're saying then that we should be going back to 4-4-2 to get proper battered every week?
No, 4-3-3.
Listen, Garnacho and Ahmad are two of our best young prospects, and we are not giving them an opportunity to express themselves on the pitch with the formation that we're playing.
Exactly.
I think Garnacho did yesterday, though,
and why not? So what you're saying that we should be playing for? We're saying that Amarin should come in and change his formation to 4-3-3.
Why not?
Yeah,
Because that's not the formation that he plays.
Here's the thing.
It's more about the hiring.
Can I just say this?
him.
Yeah? As a manager nowadays, you have to be adaptable, right? Now, I make this example. Look at Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea. He played 3-5-2 because of the players that he had. He had the wing backs. Reece James was fit the whole season. He had the players to do it, right? But when he went back to Bayern Munich afterwards, he played a 4-3-3. Amarin's just sticking to what he knows. That's been successful at Sporting, but it doesn't mean that you have to play that formation all the time.
What do you know about training methods?
The personnel that we have.
Nah, it's I understand your point, but you're wrong on this. The reason you're wrong on this is because of like the modern day phenomenon of a game model. A game model is basically where everyone should be, what everyone should do, all that kind of stuff. And when you sign Amarin, and I think that Amarin was in principle a terrible hire on the basis that we're trying to build a new system and a new stadium, and we don't have any money. I mean, what are you doing? Like, this is like going out with like Britney Spears in 2006 or whatever, when she's got to look like Mr. B going, or Stewart. You're just asking for trouble, aren't you? But like for me, I think that like when you say right about we're not providing a platform to Ahmad or Garnacho, this is the only platform that Ahmad has performed in for Manchester United, and Garnacho is developing more as a player in my opinion. Like, I think that like when you look at players like Ronaldo, Rooney, Gareth Bale, they start wide, they go central, they get better as players. I don't disagree with your overarching argument. I just disagree with your points, I think.
No, but what I feel that Ahmad, he was going to play well at whatever since because of his work rate, the way he tries, but he's playing as a right wing back sometimes. And I don't feel you're getting the best out of him. That's not getting the absolute maximum out of him because he's having to step back and defend. If you was players to play as a right forward, I think he'll do even better. But I think he was always going to play well because you could see that he's got the ambition, he's got the hunger, the desire, and you could see the way.
Yeah, but as a right winger, we've only really seen him perform at Sunderland, and we've seen like Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
I don't remember Ten Hag starting Ahmad that much. I don't remember.
Yeah, but Ollie didn't want him. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst and that Rangers team, by the way, lost the UEFA Cup final on penalties. and they didn't want him. And just sorry, this is a bit of indulgency from myself. I'm not ever gonna like role play outside of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not from an urban environment. I'm from a village. I'm not gonna say mandem or pause or anything like that. I'm not a performing monkey. Ask Colm. Maybe he'll do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Mandem. What's the other one? What's that? Is it anyone know Expressions, the Tottenham fan, and the Arsenal? It's all fam this, fam that, innit? And blood.
Yeah, he's a very strange guy because what he does, like I've seen him and he's really quick-witted and he's really funny. But all it is you look like a wrestler, or here's my point, plus a popular song that relates to it. It's like it's very shallow, but I do find him really funny. Mr. B, who's your favourite comedian at the moment? Is it Maguire? Is it Hoyland? You're muted, by the way.
It's Hoyland. It's Hoyland. 100%, mate.
Yeah, well
100%.
said. Sorry, well said, Stephanie Griffith.
I mean,
I hope you're not talking about that, because they always laugh at me because I say game model, and they always think I'm saying gay model.
She said we need a flexible, fast front three.
Yeah, the thing is, do we though? Because if they're fast and they've got no control, then we're done.
Now, Mr. B, I'm so with the boys on this because, like, what's happening in football is the Guardiolification of football. Like, it's becoming so homogenized where everything is the same. And I believe that, like, teams like Italy should be strong at the back. That is their cultural, like, heritage. Manchester United is about pace and skill and adventure in wide areas. And, like, I love him, but that's not Diego Dalot.
Oh, don't talk about Diego Dalot.
I like Diogo Dalot or whatever, but I think that Kahinde and Stewart are right here. That our heritage, our history, our culture, the things that makes us different are having players like Giggsy, like Best, like even David Beckham,
Kanchelskis, Ronaldo.
Yeah, even Quinton Fortune. I loved him as a footballer. I loved it, honestly.
Versatility. Yeah.
He is the best African footballer we've ever had by a country mile, Quinton Fortune.
Way. Eric Jemba.
All right. I thought you'd say like Bailey or something like that, the goalkeeper. I think he might have been South African.
He was
South
even
African.
though he played for England, but he was South African, yeah.
Yeah, but this is for me. This is why I'm all right with the Dorgu signing, because we've overpaid and he's a teenager. But we've got to get that back in wide areas. And I would love to see Garnacho or Ahmad in wide areas being exciting and stuff. But
it's not going to happen, unfortunately. I mean, Amrin said it time and time again, every press conference. He's not going to change his formation.
I'm glad he's not changing.
He's sticking to his principles. If he gets sacked, he gets sacked.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why Liverpool didn't hire him when Klopp was leaving.
Yeah,
they interviewed him. He said, "I'm not going to change."
Because he plays a three at the back and he won't change.
Yeah. And Liverpool, look, we've been successful playing this type of football under Klopp. And
wow,
that's why they didn't hire Amrin.
And do you think Robertson and Trent would be bloody fantastic as in that kind of system?
But where would Salah play? Would Salah be able to play?
That's a great point. In Saudi Arabia, I'd suspect.
Yeah, exactly. He's been their most consistent player.
By the way, the Saudi Arabian window has officially slammed shut. So, Casemiro, he is going to be down Curry Mile for the rest of the year. Shout out to all my boys in Russia.
Just a quick one, lads.
Casemiro situation.
Sorry, just quickly. Would anyone I know it's too late now. Anyone would take a punt on that John Duran?
His character's meant to be a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
As in what half time? What's that? What, because when he sulks and he doesn't play, or
not a committed professional, not great in training, easily distracted. Like Chelsea and other teams have looked at him and said that his attitude and the people around him aren't the best environment for him to do well. And when you look back at Jadon Sancho, a boy who had the world at his feet, that he was putting numbers up that were only comparable to Messi. It's himself, like Rashford, that kind of held himself back. We need more players like Kobe Mainu, like McTominay, like Alanga, that have that kind of inner drive to improve, and maybe look at like slightly more technical players. Like, you know, we need like Ronaldos and Keanes and things like that who have this fire within them.
Yeah,
And I don't think John Duran has that.
I see a link earlier. We've been linked with Mbeumo again from Brentford.
I like him a lot.
Is this?
But where would he play?
Summer? Surely he'll play behind the striker, no?
Well, you'd think so.
As a number 10?
As a number 10, yeah. Or Wissa, even Wissa.
Wouldn't you take him where would you play him up top?
I'll play him up top. Who, Mbeumo or Wissa?
I'd play him as a 9 in the same way that Watkins and Gyökeres play, where they're slightly wider.
But personally, I think we need to get a striker on loan before the window. I don't think it's going to happen, but who's that? Who's in the toilet?
I'm making a soda stream. I want some
some bubbles, yeah?
Yes, Mr. B, get busy when they're busy.
No one's even mentioned this Thibaut Obi Martin, and everyone's saying, "Oh, he's a kid." Wayne Rooney was a kid when he came on the scene and scored a hat trick against Fenerbahce.
Wayne Rooney is the best 17-year-old since Pele.
Oh, without a doubt, a doubt. But has anyone seen much of this Thibaut Obi Martin? I watched
seen a few highlights on YouTube. Yeah,
he looks mint. He looks mint.
So what do you reckon? That he gets in?
You should have signed Isak when he was at.
Sociedad, what, 60 million?
Yeah.
Kehinde, your brother told us the other day that that his son, your nephew, it's a coincidence that he knows Heaven, the guy that has signed, that he's down your part of the way, and Yabo was saying that he's been aware of him 4 or 5 years. Have you heard anything about him?
No, nothing. That's news to me.
We signed him.
Well, you need to put your ear to the street.
What was that, Stuart?
this Heaven lad, we've signed him. Another one from Arsenal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Academy.
Yeah. Question though, how do we sign him first before Dorgu, and then the club lets Dorgu play? I don't think he's played. I've just checked.
No, he was in the squad though, wasn't he?
I don't understand. I don't get it.
And
We bought the player, and he was able to play in the Lecce game, or be named in the squad for the Lecce game. Yes, granted, he didn't play, but why I don't understand all of that. I don't understand that. You could have said his goodbyes tomorrow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed as well, guys, that since this Dorgo's deal's come on the table, Luke Shaw's back in training.
So
Good news.
Don't let me say the double C word on here, please. I've done well so far. I can't. I cannot stand him.
Really?
I cannot. I hate him.
Why?
I hate him because he put England before United. He went on the tournament.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
He did. I would never ever forgive him for. I was there on Luke Shaw, but I hate him. I absolutely hate him.
On his day, he's one of the best fullbacks in it.
I have to say that with Luke Shaw, I had all the time in the world for him because he did something that Phil Jones did, where he broke his body for the football club. Like, he nearly lost his leg.
So did Rashford.
Exactly, but yeah, hang on. All right, calm down. But it's understandable, in my opinion, because he thought England had a good shot at winning the Euros. But no, it's not acceptable to put anything above Manchester United.
Yeah, because they pay your wages.
Yeah. And then, I mean, and the other thing is, right, I know I don't look at people like footballers and think that they should be like Proust or something and that they should be incredibly intelligent. But getting on a Molly May, or whatever she's called, Molly May, like TikTok, and go, oh yeah, your mum's on benefits. Fuck you, you custard-eating motherfucker. You seen Blade, Stuart? You know, at the beginning of that, there's all this blood that comes down. The vampires are dancing. He is there with fucking custard coming out of the ceiling, just having a whale of a time. And I'm so done with him because I think he's insulted the values of Manchester United, and I'm not happy about it. And now he's coming back. I wish him the best. I hope that he can help us out. but I want him gone.
He'll be injured again next week. Don't worry about half time.
No, you won't, because we've got a new left back coming in, so he's going to become Roberto Carlos again for the next 4 months.
Yeah.
Has Malacia looked good this season?
Oh,
No.
don't talk about him.
Did you see him yesterday?
Oh,
I only saw highlights yesterday. I think it's
Redder, he's got to go. Whatever they
He's
can get for him.
he's
Whatever
an
they can
absolute
get.
shocker.
Yeah.
No, he goes with a handshake.
He was out for a year though, wasn't he? So
Yeah, he goes with a handshake for me. He hurt himself in the name of the club. Like, he was a £15 million signing, like Dan James or something. He, he was under the sway of the evil overlord, Louis van Gaal, and, went and did operations, on Louis van Gaal's say-so. He's not a great footballer, but he's lost a lot of his career in service of Manchester United, and when he goes, he gets a handshake from me. I think that he's been all right, and I'm not happy with people getting in on Malacia because he's had terrible luck, and it's not his fault.
we shouldn't have sold. You're muted, Mr. B. We shouldn't have sold Fernandes, should we?
Alvaro Fernandez.
Well,
he
the thing is,
deserved a little run in the team.
yeah, but there
This
must
is
have been a reason why he left, why he was gone, why they let
No,
him go.
because I think he wanted to play. He thought he deserved to have a run in the team, and he didn't get that opportunity.
Is it Koundé? Is it Benfica? Is it Benfica? Is that?
Benfica.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then we've got a buyback clause of 15 million, I believe, or something.
We're not going to do
Yeah.
that. We never
No,
do that.
no.
I don't think we do.
I
think
think we
we
do.
do.
We do.
No,
We've got a buyback clause.
everyone says that. I don't think we do.
I
think
have
that
under good
buyback-
authority. We have a buyback clause.
Yeah, I've heard
Is it
that as well,
active?
Con.
I don't think it's active.
It is.
I
It's
can't.
active.
I
But we
cannot
decided to go a
believe.
different way.
I cannot believe that a football club like Girona, who are or Benfica, sorry, who know what they're doing, have an active buyback clause all the time for a player. I think that might be active in the summer or maybe next summer, or that the price comes down, because I can't see it. It would be such poor management of the club, and regardless of what authority you got it on, Cole, I genuinely think that would be a sackable offence for a CEO or an FCO to basically turn that into a loan. It'd be ridiculous. I bow to your greater knowledge, but I don't believe it. It doesn't strike me as good business practice.
We just don't. When we do have a buyback clause, we don't ever activate it.
The only one I can think of, Kahinde, in the history of the Premier League is Matic. He went to Porto from Chelsea and they bought him back about 2 years later.
Yeah.
I genuinely can't remember. I think Real Madrid might have had one on Region and they didn't take it because it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it is. Morata must have had quite a few. I don't know.
I even see Stan Curtis saying about Angel Gomez apparently could be coming back as well.
Well, we need height in the midfield.
God damn.
We do need that Angel. Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
This is the problem with United. We always get linked with everyone, don't we?
No, that's the problem. I think that's probably the problem with United. Everybody's linked with us. We then tend to, I want him. He'd be good in this system, and then we never ever buy anybody.
No.
I'm surprised we got Dorgo in. I would really love us to get somebody else in. But
What position?
Striker.
striker. Yeah, striker.
Not goalkeeper?
No,
I don't think we can get a goalkeeper. I don't think we can get one on loan.
I think that Turkish guy, what's his name? I think.
Alpay.
Yeah,
Bayinda.
he's going to put some good pressure. He's going to give.
He's all right. He's all right, that bloke. He's all right. We've got
I mean, he was dreadful against Tottenham.
For
the first half,
half time, wasn't it?
The first half he was. Second half he was pretty good.
I don't know if you lot remember the name. We sold a Slovak keeper.
Vitek?
Vitek.
I thought he had really good.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
We sold a guy called Maxi Odiele, who I was so impressed with in pre-season. I thought, yes, this is my kind of midfielder. Strong, powerful, compact, good runner.
No, but I heard, because he went on loan to some Division 2 club, Forest Green or Forest United or something. I think Troy Deeney was managing, and they said his attitude was terrible. He didn't even make a good impression. Couldn't even get in the first team.
You talk about the Polish internationals, yeah?
Yeah. The long dreads. Yeah.
I hate Troy Deeney. That sounds like a load of bollocks to me. And Manchester United. I mean, like Beckham went off. Where'd he go? Preston.
Yeah,
Preston. Yeah.
Yeah. Like no, I'm not having it. Troy Deeney. Honestly, he hates us. Going after Fred, one of the greatest midfielders Premier League has ever seen. But I mean, I think actually, Kehinde, so obviously I'm joking. He is the greatest midfielder, but Kehinde's making a really good point, which is that in order to get Ugarte in, we sold our most promising homegrown players. Like you can include Greenwood and McTominay in that if you like, but we sold Max Oyedele, like Zidane Iqbal went for $500,000. Like I'm not sure about Will Fish. I know he was exceptional at Hibernian, but I just I think
Elanga as well. He's doing
oh
well.
yeah, I mean like Alangi, we loved him.
Is there anybody that went out on loan that's doing well that we let go? You know, the younger ones that we were saying, we should have kept. Iqbal, I said I'm ignorant to foreign football, so I wouldn't know if he's doing well. I know what's his name, Mabry. He's not pulling down trees at Burnley.
No, he got sent off today a few weeks ago, and he hasn't got back in the team since.
Yeah, well, he went to Sevilla on loan, and they basically said that he had an attitude problem after one training session. McTominay and Elanga and Gomez are probably the ones that have done the best, with Gomez winning the under-21 Euros with Anthony Gordon and the boys. McTominay obviously is tearing up trees in Italy, and Elanga is part of that wicked front three: Callum Hudson-Odoi, Chris Woods, a player that we like. Sorry,
you like Elanga, didn't you?
I loved Elanga, yeah.
Yeah,
I like Amari Forson, to be honest. No one else did.
Oh yeah,
Forson, decent player.
Also, shout out to Emma Kay. We don't see her a lot in chat anymore, but I'm always pleased to see her. And Dora has told me to say hello if I see you again. So there we are. I'm Dora's secretary. But yeah, I love Stuart. I love Elanga because not just that goal against, was it Atletico Madrid? Yeah.
Yeah.
Lindelof played
Champions League game. Yeah.
That game. He was a proper athlete. He ran a lot. He understood the club, and one of my favourite Manchester United players of all time. It's an odd one, but it's Danny Welbeck. It's Danny Welbeck or Wes Brown. I absolutely love them as players.
I love Wes Brown. Absolutely.
When Wes Brown first came on the scene,
yeah, man,
I thought he was unbelievable.
Do you know he's got 2 Champions Leagues?
Yeah. I think Wes Brown, he had a really big injury early in his career, and he was never really quite the same when he came back.
Well, I read an interview with him.
He was going to be under the next big thing.
Well, I read an interview with him. So I think he's from Blakely. I'm not sure. But in the interview, he said that before the games, he got so worried that he was regularly sick before games. Yeah. But it was about representing Manchester United. And I absolutely loved that. And with Danny Welbeck, I remember, was it against Real Madrid, Stuart, where Ronaldo jumped over Evra? He started over Rooney.
Yeah.
It broke genuinely. Mr. B knows this. I got really upset when Welbeck moved to Arsenal.
Yeah, that was a Van Gaal move. Van Gaal did.
Yeah, and Raphael as well, man. The Sunshine Twins.
Raphael was class.
Van Gaal Mendes as well, didn't he?
His brother wasn't as good, but Raphael was a phenomenal fullback.
Yeah, remember them against Arsenal? When we played all them defenders.
Yeah.
I just this goes back to the point that I kind of was making at the beginning of the show. I will do, Emma, thank you. Is that I kind of feel that a lot of our values are being eroded by not just by the players, also us as social media and fans and things like that. And I look back at those players like Wes Brown and Welbeck, and they were they all kind of got sent out to Royal Antwerp, I think. Was that our feeder club?
Yeah,
Stuart?
That was our feeder club, yeah.
Yeah, like, and they made all their mistakes out there, and they came into the team, and they represented the communities around Manchester, like Wythenshawe, Rusholme, Blakely, and further. And I think now that I don't like us getting in players with fundamental errors in their game, like Ugarte or Martinez and stuff like that. I really wish we could go back to, like, local players that understand the relationship that the club has with fans. And I hope that in some ways Rashford is held up as an example of what happens when you let people down.
But you're making a good point, because I feel like
So it's very rare.
when Fergie was there, these players that people like the Welbecks and the Cleverleys, they played really well. Especially that last season when we won the league. Like Cleverley played like nearly 30 games Premier League.
Brilliant long shot on
he
him.
was looking, he was looking like a good prospect. He was a very tidy player and he was looking good. But then a new manager comes in and doesn't like Cleverley, doesn't like Welbeck, doesn't like Chicharito Hernandez, Rafael, all these guys that had won the league previously. They just didn't look like the same players. But I feel like that was the thing about Ferguson. He always got the best out of the players. He got the maximum potential.
What I loved about Ferguson is that he gave an interview at Harvard Business School about how to manage millionaires. And he said the thing is, right, is that you don't talk to them about their lives and stuff. You encourage them to get married. You say, like, how important family is as the cornerstone of, like, society. But what you do is you concentrate on what their grandparents did. And their grandparents were not like multi-millionaires and stuff. They were down the mines or running grocers or whatever. And like, I know we have a guy in here sometimes called Big G, Gavin Ward, who always talks about how I'm being too leftist and stuff. But Manchester is a socialist city, and it has been back to the Peterlee massacre. It has been back to when, like, Liverpool tried to starve us because we opened the canal. And those socialist values of being part of a collective are what's important. And I feel that, like, people like Welbeck, Wes Brown, even like the Brazilian twins, Rafael and Fabio, they understood that. And the last player that I've seen that's come into the club, the last two that have really got our values, are Andre Herrera and Bruno Fernandes. And I really wish. And do you know what the really sad thing is now, Kehinde? Is that when Heaven was taken around Carrington, he is the first player for about 50 years that wasn't taken around by Kath the receptionist. Isn't that heartbreaking?
Yeah,
didn't it?
Yeah. All traditions. Yeah, yeah.
And you're right. That's what connects us. Like, I don't know about you guys. Like, I think it's probably true for Stuart, but like, for me, like, I didn't know my grandfather, but he was a Manchester United fan, and what connects me to my past is Manchester United. Like, and that's my relationship with the club. Is that when I'm gone, my descendants will be Manchester United fans, and hopefully they go to the same stadium, and that kind of stuff. And I feel that at the moment we are like eroding our values that connect ourselves to our past, and it upsets me.
Yeah, I mean, my nephew, he's only 11. I've obviously got him all the kits. He's been brought up as a Man United fan. It's in our blood. But I said to him before Christmas, who's your favourite player, Bobby? Bear in mind he's 11. He said none of them are all shit.
Really?
That's heartbreaking. Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Why is he called Bobby?
I don't know. I have to ask my brother that.
I was hoping it was Bobby Charlton.
Bobby Zamora. But yeah, I mean, it's heartbreaking, isn't it, for these youngsters who are growing up now, because we were spoiled by time, weren't we? We were spoiled.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it. We're here hoping that we get spoiled again. You know
Well, yeah, but what I want, Mr. B, And what Kehinde Stewart has said is, I want to be spoilt in the right way. Well, I think our values as a football club, having pace and skill out wide, hard-working players, committing players, is the way that you do it. It's like, when Manchester City won their treble, like, congratulations to them. They've got a treble. But it's like getting married. Our wife is much better than theirs because she's got, different things. And when we win, when we win, and we will win again, like, make no mistake, like, we will win, like, leagues and things again. We'll be back. But I want us to do it in the way that honours our traditions, because a football club should serve its community, and it should be a beacon to everyone. It should be like, in some ways, what the monarchy used to be. Like, you get married, your parents die, you have the birth of the child, and in the background is always the same thing, and that should be Manchester United. And the values shouldn't change. And so when we win, it means more, and it shows that the values that we have are the right values. Are you with me, sir?
Yeah, because I'm not saying that you got to congratulate City on that treble, but it was,
of course,
it was paid for. Like, it wasn't like a Man United treble with homegrown.
You got to congratulate the Crankies on getting married. Yeah. However,
or FC Barcelona, who had Xavi, Busquets, Iniesta, Puyol, Messi, all homegrown players who won that treble. This is what I'm saying. Those trebles are special because they did it the right way. It was like there's a foundation behind it. It wasn't just getting a blank check and buying all this player and that player. So yeah, that's United and FC Barcelona. They did it the right way.
And now we don't, because we're playing with three. Because we're playing with three.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, who's the director of the club who thought this would be a good guy to get in?
What I don't understand why should we be pigeonholed? Why should we be pigeonholed into a formation to play? I'm glad he's come out. I'm glad he's come in with something different. And the players that he doesn't want can fuck off. I'm over the moon, bruv. I'm over the moon that he's coming.
I am with you.
He's changed and he's not bending. His formation is his formation. His system is his system.
Yeah.
Why should he bend because the players are rubbish?
No. It's nothing. All right. Who would you say that you enjoy? Which team that you enjoy watching plays a 3-5-2?
I don't think anybody plays a 3-5-2. Does anybody play
Inter
a 3-5-2?
Milan do, Sporting do, Leverkusen.
Unless you see, I don't watch European football unless they're playing.
Those are the three that big clubs: Sporting, Inter Milan, Bayer Leverkusen.
Okay, so Leverkusen ain't doing too badly. They didn't do too badly.
They are this season.
Yeah. Oh, they're doing shit this year.
Right, hang on, Mr. B.
No, they're doing all right. They're second. They've only lost one game. Yeah, they've only lost one game.
There you go. It works. It works.
No, but
that's almost the point, Mr. B.
I'm asking
it's
you.
Practical reasons.
In a free
pragmatic reasons. Kehinde and Stewart are talking about like history and a connection that goes back and stuff like that. Man. It's our tradition.
Things change. If that's the case, then you should still be playing in 4-4-2. 2 strikers, 2 wingers, and 2 central midfielders that you don't understand what position they're supposed to be playing.
Right. I'm going to give a really dodgy analogy. Okay, so bear with me on this. I hope that Solo isn't watching. What we have done is very similar to Philip Schofield, who went from being a happily married man to like going out with like 19-year-olds. Now, imagine how much your life changes. Like, you're watching Cadfile, like Midsummer Murders and stuff like that, and now you find yourself in heaven, like doing whatever. It's too big of a... It's going from Amrin, like in his 3-5-2, is too big of a change, and it is driven by a need to kind of get us back. And it feels like, in some ways, a bit of a betrayal of what has come beforehand, but also a sort of shortcut. And I personally think that that Manchester United should always, I don't care if we're Newton Heath or we're Manchester FC or whatever, we should always have flair and pace out wide, because that is what makes us different, and it is a betrayal of our cultural heritage and the people that came before us to do that. And maybe that is the plan. But I'm completely behind Kehinde and Stewart in this, that it's not about resisting progress or resisting change, because even when we moved to 4-4-2 to 4-3-3, we still had elements we can recognise.
Yeah.
And Mazraoui and Delo as our wide players are not things that I recognise.
No.
God almighty.
So have it, Mr. B. An argument well made using Philip Schofield.
I'm saying, it's like they just thought, oh, who's a good young manager at the moment? Oh, this guy. It's like they didn't give it any thought to think, hold on, does he play the right formation for us, or has he got the club's ethos in his head? No.
I mean, they even gave him the ultimatum, didn't they? You come now. He wanted to come in the summer. He said, "No, you come now, or you're not coming."
Yeah.
I mean, what's all that?
So
about?
they have to back him. So they have to. And this is my point. So they have to back him. You can't bring a man
Exactly.
out of wherever he was doing well. And I mean, the fact that we've only given him one play this summer is this winter, this transfer window, is fucking disgusting.
So far.
It is.
Oh, come on, so do you think we're going to get anybody? I live in hope that we're going to get.
When they saying this,
we'll get another player in.
Yeah, probably on loan.
Sky Sports panel, they were trying to say that Amran actually wants out of the job already.
Oh, Sky a bunch. I don't listen to Sky.
Who said that?
They were trying to imply that he.
Who said that?
He was trying to get himself. Was it Merson? He was trying to.
Oh, Merson, fucking cokehead. Fuck Merson.
Merson actually chats sense sometimes. He actually.
No, man, Merson chats breeze all the fucking time, bro. He was there talking,
quickly,
saying Anne should stay, blah blah blah. He's an idiot.
Merson come out the other day and he said, if I was Man United, I would fucking drive Garnacho to the airport. What a bellend.
He's a dick.
Now, what Merson is Merson is a first order thinker. He just sees the situation. He doesn't think about the repercussions. He doesn't see the future, and so on. I quite like Merson because I saw him do commentary on a 6-yard pass from Kevin De Bruyne, and he said that no one in the stadium could play that pass. It looks easy, but it's a perfect pass, and I rate him on that. But the thing is that with people like Merson and stuff like that, they have no understanding of management. Like, do you remember when Ten Hag wasn't getting Frankie de Jong in, and people said, "Oh, he should walk. He'd never fucking work again in another big football club after doing something like that." If Amram walks because he doesn't get the players he wants in, it's no different to a child. He wouldn't work for a proper football club again. There's absolutely no way that he's. Just before you get into things like loyalty bonuses and the rest of his contract and stuff, it is absolutely juvenile first order thinking from Paul Merson, and I'm disappointed in Sky.
I think they're just reacting to the statements Amran's coming up with because he's saying this is the worst United team ever and blah blah blah. They're thinking to themselves, this guy, does he want to get himself sacked or something? Has he really realised that since he's come to the club? Actually, I'm not.
Sorry, I've had a couple of drinks, Kehinde. Why is Swanee the bog? Is this Cockney rhyming slang?
It's gone down to Swanee. Yeah, it's gone down to
bog. Hang on. John Swan made toilets, didn't he?
What?
John Swan was the inventor of porcelain toilets. That's why it's called Swan.
I thought it was crap. His name was Crapper.
Thomas Crapper. Maybe he did the plumbing.
Do you know what? I honestly, you know what? I think I got that from a Carry On film. So maybe it's not. Maybe it's not Thomas Cracker. Maybe
we bloody need people to start carrying in our midfield. I can tell you that.
Yeah. They're gonna be all right. We've got Bruno in there now playing as the deep line.
Do you think that's where he is now?
Yeah, he's gonna stay.
We think Ahmad and Kobe as tens, Bruno Nagate as the midfield.
I'll take that.
Apparently, I worked with someone who's a Sporting fan. He's Portuguese, and he was saying to me, when Bruno was at Sporting, he was playing in a 3. He was never a number 10.
He's only become a number 10 since he's been with us.
Yeah, he started as a 6.
Yeah. I always wondered, does he really have the attributes of a number 10, or do you need to get this guy on the ball from deep? I've never really.
He can score goals to him there.
He's a good all-round player, but I've always looked at him as I don't really know if he's an 8 or 10.
He can score goals.
Yeah, I know.
So
But
get him close to the goal. Like when he first started.
yeah, but they said he was like a Frank Lampard. Like he started deep and then in Sporting, and then he got goals that way. Like he didn't start as a 10 that's high up. Like he was more of a Lampard.
Well, when he first played for us, I believe, Stuart, you can correct me here. I believe his debut was Wolverhampton Wanderers, and he played in a pivot. Like he played deep, and as he started scoring more goals, albeit a lot of them were penalties and stuff. But I remember against Everton, he scored a great header, like a lovely little dink and stuff. The fact that you can score goals it's like saying at Tottenham, Gareth Bale was a left back, and now he's a right winger at Real Madrid. It's crazy. Like if you can score goals, put people in a position to score goals because that's what wins your football matches. Like having the best players that can score goals wins your football matches.
I think at the moment, for what we need at the moment, we need like like an Ericsson type player with legs in that midfield. Yeah. You know, someone who would get on the ball and.
I disagree.
Because we don't have any real creativity in that central area at the moment.
No, I don't think we need creativity in the central area at the moment. Like
I do.
So. All right, what you're talking about, I think, is that there are three ways of dealing with blocks in football.
Yeah.
Like around, over, or like between. You want players that can play between the lines, can break it down, and so on. I think that what we have to look at is like we're building a house or baking a cake. So you can use whatever metaphor you want, a recipe or a blueprint. I want players that can recover space in the midfield, like Ananas, like your guy at Everton.
You say Anana, but you know he's not playing. You know he doesn't play for Villa. You know he's not playing for Villa, right?
I don't care. Douglas Luiz was a great player for Villa. Like, in fact, Villa have upgraded to people like Rodgers, who I don't know if that man could pass a football, but he can carry it and he can run backwards. And I think that what we need to do is raise the floor of the team, sign taller, faster players that can compete in the Premier League. That, like, you look at what Jose's remit was, no one under 6'1", unless it was Ashley Cole. In my opinion, one of the best left backs we've ever seen in Europe. Like, so an exception to be made. But you look at Arsenal, they're signing 6'1" players. City have struggled since they've lost Stones and Rodri in the midfield, who were able to win headers and win duels and stuff like that. I want us to move away from Casemiro's, Eriksen's, Ugate's, Martinez, and stuff like that, because I feel that we need a physical base to build on. And when you look around our team, like we've got a lovely little hobbit in Amad Diallo, who the only player that I see win more 1v1 tackles than Amad Diallo in his position is Salah. Like, even against Liverpool do you remember when McTominay cleared from the corner and then like Amad scored? Amad won that 1v1.
Oh yeah.
Like he beat a player in a duel, and really important. And that shows you why we've got to get more physical, reliable players in the football team before we can think about sprinkling like Angel Gomez stardust around. For me.
You're right there, to be fair.
But I look at it as we just need someone that could get on the ball and play, because because I'm not saying I don't like that big physical player. Sometimes it's useful, but we need more ball retention. You know, because when you have too many players like a McTominay, a Fred, or things like that, just workers.
They finished second.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that you need. Sometimes it's better to have a ball player where you keep the ball rather than thinking about winning it all the time.
Let's look at evidence. Okay,
players like that, essentially, they just block themselves, and we're not getting the ball.
Did Bruno and Rashford have their best seasons with McTominay and Fred?
Yeah, but that's because of the players that we had at the time and the system.
No. I believe it's because they gave us a platform. Right, obviously we can improve them. Like I love McTominay, and I like Fred.
Yeah, and we remember we beat City quite a few times with Tommy and Fred. Really
with Dan James as well.
Yeah,
it's about physicality. Yeah. Because like, how tall are you?
6'3".
Right, I'm 5'11", and I can guarantee you, that as a header of the football, I've got a better technique than you do. But I won't win a single header against you.
Yeah.
Like, if you take a step back, you know, if you know what you're doing and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm never able to show that technique because your physicality is something that I can't overcome. And that's the issue. It's like, when you look at Ugarte, everyone is raving about Ugarte. His fundamentals as a midfielder are terrible. The same with Lisandro Martinez as a defender. They're terrible. Like, we need more players like Maguire that mean that you have to raise your game against them. You're not going to beat them easily. Maguire is an annoying centre-back to play against because he's going to win 90% of headers. So you need to do more. And Manchester United as a team are too easy to play against because we've got Casemiros and Ericssons, and they might be great in different ways, but if you kick the ball and run past them, what are they going to do? Like, they're not on roller skates. They're not going to be like Marty McFly in Back to the Future on a bloody hoverboard or something. Like, and what United need to focus on, in my opinion, is becoming a nightmare to play against, and then we can build from that basis.
I think what we need
is the thing. You're the type, you didn't even like what you like in the midfielder. I hate, like, you didn't even
is this about Carrick?
But yes, Michael Carrick, because
terrible midfielder.
How did you know?
What are you talking about?
He didn't like Michael Carrick. Michael Carrick was
Michael Carrick was a dreadful midfielder.
Bath time.
How much did you win under Michael Carrick? How much? Carrick could pass the ball through the lines. He could do it. He was.
United fans absolutely love Carrick. He was an absolute legend at the club.
I don't disagree. Michael Carrick was a signing from Tottenham Hotspur that people laughed at and said, "Oh, lol, is this going to get United back?" And we played well. Michael Carrick needed two strong runners around him in Fletcher and Park. If you look at what happened against Barcelona, even against Real Madrid with Luka Modric, Michael Carrick didn't have the fundamentals of playing a defensive central midfielder off the ball, and because of that, we are not the greatest team of all time. Prime Barcelona are the greatest team of all time. If we'd had a better player than Michael Carrick, someone who understood it, he's not a bad player, but he's tremendously overrated because he didn't know how to play off the ball. He was a luxury player. Like, he was brilliant for our club and so on.
If you ask centre backs like Rio Ferdinand rates him high because he plays just in front of Rio Ferdinand. Rio Ferdinand said he always picked up the right positions where he didn't need to do man running or anything.
I will bow to their greater experience, right? Yeah. If Ferdinand says that and he was his teammate, I'm okay to go with that. But for me, as a midfielder that needed to rely on fundamentals more than like God-given skills, because Michael Carrick was an exceptional passer of football.
Yeah,
he's a brilliant striker of football. That goal against Roma in the 7-1 or whatever, unbelievable. Like, and I've got no issues with Michael Carrick playing for our football club, but I can tell you, at the elite level, from what I see, Carrick was always the difference.
Hold on. So you're talking about games against Real Madrid and Barcelona when they were like the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
You got to think, we got to 3 Champions League, 08, 09, 011, 3 Champions League finals with Carrick in the team, and we won 3 leagues in a row. You can't just base it on...
I'm saying that those games...
Teams that are like world-class, who at the time were just considered the best teams.
And that is exactly what I'm saying, is that those differences in the fundamentals of the game is what cost us. Like, would you say that Busquets was a better player than Carrick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is that I think that Carrick is overrated as a player, and Fletcher and Park are underrated.
No, look, I think 09 when we really missed Darren Fletcher in that final against Barcelona. I think he would have made a big difference.
Yeah, he got eaten alive by Busquets in that match. Like, make no mistake about it. Like, what Carrick did is I see a lot of similarities between Carrick and Ugarte. Where when you look at Ugarte, you have to see this. Wait. Hang on. Let me make my point.
Go on.
Ugarte tackles from the wrong side all the time. All the time. Whenever he gets a yellow card, he gets taken off because his fundamentals aren't good enough. And against Fulham, when I was at Craven Cottage, and I watched the game, and I was watching him and Fernandez in particular trying to pick up some points, but Ugarte got tempted out of the block far too often. And then it allowed Iwobi in behind, playing simple 1-2s, which you don't see in Premier League football anymore. But I think that the real, it's details that take you from a top player to a top player. And I think that...
You think it's details and not ability?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Bob.
Yeah,
Well, I'll tell you why.
System-wise, I might agree with you, but if you've got the talent...
I'll tell you why, right? Veron versus Scholes. I think Veron probably had more technical ability. I think that he had a little bit more to him. He was taller, he was a bit faster. Paul Scholes, probably, to be honest, alongside Keane and Welbeck, he's probably my favourite United player of all time, Scholes. He wasn't an athlete. He had all the disadvantages in the world, but he looked at the information around him and made the correct choices.
Yeah.
He could tackle, but he also knew how to foul. Right?
Yeah.
And the difference between... So, I'm not talking about a difference between me and you or Kahinde or stuff like that. I'm talking about incredible athletes, incredibly skillful players. I think that those details make a huge difference, because why is Scholesy better than Veron? I think for me it's about details. I think it's about just taking, dropping a little bit deeper so he can open his body and hit the right back, or hit Beckham at the right time. I think that if your work rate, your desire, everything is equal or nearabouts, I think it's the details of your technique that makes a difference. And it's something that I have focused on a lot, which is about being able to do things quicker. And Scholes always did things quicker than Veron.
I really
so is that a good answer?
Yeah, and Veron was one of my favourite players to watch.
Veron was class, very underrated.
Yeah.
There was games in the Champions League where he was just unbelievable.
So why didn't it work for us?
No, because we didn't need that type of player at the time. I think if you look on YouTube, you hear Kieran Richardson talking about it. He's saying Veron was too advanced for the league at the time.
Too advanced for the league. Okay.
Yeah, that's how he saw him. He was just he was too advanced for the league. And I think at that time it was the wrong signing, because we had Keane and Scholes, and it was a great partnership.
I don't think, actually, Kahinde, I know what you're saying. I don't think it was the wrong signing. Because the point of the signing, right, is that we had begun to dominate the Premier League.
But we get too predictable in Europe.
That's the point. Is he was bought? Yeah. He was bought for Europe because he played deeper. That Parma team,
exactly. Yeah.
I think I was 8 or 9, but through various means, I got a ticket to watch Parma versus Rangers, and I saw that great team, and my God, they were wow! It was like aliens had landed. You know, you were seeing different stuff, and the thing with Veron is that you've seen the interviews. Stuart, you've seen them. They all talk about how incredible he was in training and stuff. I think Scholesy once said about Rude. He heard Rude before he saw him. He could hear the ping of the ball and he knew there was a quality player. But Scholesy was all right, Mr. B, seen your messages. I'll take over.
Thank you so much. I've got to go, gents. I've got to go. Bath time, I'll explain to you afterwards. Cheers.
Yeah. But the thing with players like Veron is that they were a bit like Carrick in the way that they were, for me, a luxury player, where you have a lot of the ball and a bit more time like you do in Europe and so on. And the determination, the fundamentals, the desire of Scholesy, the practicality of the situation, meant that They didn't get through. And I see Veron like Fulan, like a amazing player, but what we currently had was better and worked better. So it's no diss on them. You know what I'm saying?
This is what I'm saying is that when we bought Veron, Ferguson tried to move Scholes back to a number 10 position, and that didn't work. He wasn't good there anymore. Like, I think he played as a number 10 in his youth, and he did play as a number 10 a bit, like 95, 96. But then he slowly dropped down.
Can you point down at this comment for me, please? I can't do it, but as someone who spent a lot of time in South America, I completely agree.
Bath time. Sorry, quickly, mate. I've got to drop out because I've got to be up early for work.
All right. I think in that case, I am probably going to end the show. I'm going to give you another show to go to that I will be joining. Kahinde obviously is more than welcome on it. And so first of all, Stuart, we want to see more of you. Like, Mr. B always says that I'm bold, so we need more bold people around. Do you know what I mean? We can grow our eyebrows and, like, rot like stags. And stuff like that. But Stuart, for anyone who doesn't know, match-going fan is like, I think you're from Norwich, but you're a Cockney Red.
Norwich?
And that is a huge part.
Norwich. Essex.
That is Norwich to me, farmers.
No, it's not.
All right, but Stuart is a match-going Cockney Red, and he is people like Stuart are the lifeblood of this football club. Like, all the other people on social media that talk about stuff, they're just talking. Like, Stuart is someone that goes to watch his games. He knows, like, you know, he knows what the Bobby Charlton stand used to be called. He knows, like, where the roads are and stuff like that. He is someone that gives you that. Why are you putting thumbs down on Stuart? Fuck you. Who is that?
Who's doing that?
Yeah, who is doing that? This is not acceptable. Honestly, this is not acceptable for the Manchester United agenda. Stuart is someone who gives his money and his time to the football club. Honestly. Right, Stuart, where can these dickheads find you? Because I'll be with you and we'll fight them.
Fucking Essex, bring it on.
Yeah, it'll be like, I don't know, C-3PO and R2-D2. Like, we'll fucking go at these. Honestly.
Does that tell you who's doing that, does it?
No. If I knew who was doing it, Stuart, we would be leading an intergenerational war against them.
Yeah.
I am disgusted at our chat.
Keyboard warriors, that's all they are.
Yeah. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, bring it on, whatever.
Yeah. But anyway, Stuart, I hope you've enjoyed your time here. We'd love to see you back again.
Of course I have.
Right. We have Cole.
Hello.
Do we?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Cole, where can we find you? Thank you for joining us.
It's all right. It's all right. You can find me over on the FTSN. Yeah, basically, I just go on there and rant about referees 90% of the time.
Rant about referees. I've got to say.
What was that comment? Thumbs up for Stuart Holloway. What was that about? Oh, thumbs for Stuart Holloway. I don't think we can thumbs down. Or the chat to the screen. So all right.
It's all right. It's Stuart's dogs are giving him the thumbs down. They want to go on a WLK. But please, honestly, right? I don't turn my face cam on because, like, I don't want you people knowing who I am and stuff like that. But
this is why. That's why, isn't it?
Yeah. No. Honestly, I'm very like. I know it's one person, and we shouldn't focus on the negative and stuff. But we are a family on the Manchester United agenda, and I will fight. Yabba believes in fucking dragons and stuff like that. But I will fight you if you try and make fun of him because he's my teammate. Stuart is my teammate as well. And you're not allowed to treat our teammates like that. This is not what we are as a channel. Unacceptable.
No, if you don't like it, do one.
Dickheads, man.
Yeah,
right.
Dickheads. Right, I've got to go.
Kahinde. You're in your mother's house, which is the cornerstone of the foundation. Also, shout out to my friend Mo. Kehinde, it is, as always, a delight to have you on. We'd love to have you on more, but you're always like making a fuss about how we have to formally invite you. You've always got an open invitation. We're all a bit scared of you because of what you did to Tupac. But
I was in the car too. Don't accuse me of anything. I got shot in the head.
look at this, Matty McMatface. I will come and fight you in Big Gotch. I have no problems fighting people. Do not mistake like my politeness for cowardice. I love a good fight. We'll do it naked, and then I'll do something to you afterwards.
God.
Welcome, try it. Kehinde, can we find you on TikTok or X or whatever?
I've got an Instagram. It's Zico, ZICO _players first.
All right, wicked. Well, that was very enthusiastic. Anyway. Right. So for anyone watching, this is our friend that I put in chat. He's called Botswana Pappy. He's a fun guy. You're going to see a lot of very interesting Manchester United opinions. I might join. I haven't decided. But we're always very grateful for all of you. And I know that as a community, like, that you're good guys. And occasionally, like, someone does something stupid and we pay a bit too much attention to it. And it's not who we are. But who we are people that would like to wish you a great weekend. We'll be back with a watch-along for Palace. Stuart will be there. He'll get on the pitch. He'll start assaulting any players that don't give the right amount of effort. And we're so pleased that you spend our time with us. So from all of us, we're going to say Lack a Notch. So it's a Lack a Notch from me. Cole
Lack a
next.
notch from me.
No, I said Cole next.
Lack a notch.
Now you, Stuart.
Lack a notch from me.
Like a notch.
Oh, for